Q2054, an ATC radar facility issues the following advisory to a pilot flying on a heading of 270 degrees. Traffic 30. Clock 2 miles eastbound. Where should the pilot look for this traffic? A. North. B. South. C. West. The correct answer is A. When an ATC radar facility issues the advisory, traffic 3 o'clock, 2 miles, eastbound, to a pilot flying on a heading of 270 degrees, here is a more detailed 3 o'clock. This refers to the clock face analogy used in aviation to describe the relative position of an aircraft. The pilot should visualize their aircraft as the center of a clock face, with the nose pointing towards 12 o'clock. In this case, 3 o'clock means the traffic is to the right side of the pilot's aircraft. 2 miles. This indicates the approximate distance between the pilot's aircraft and the traffic. The traffic is approximately 2 miles away. Eastbound. This describes the direction in which the traffic is moving. In this case, the traffic is moving in an eastward direction. Based on this information, the pilot should look to the right side of their aircraft, 3 o'clock position, and scan for traffic within a 2-mile radius in an eastward direction. The pilot should remain vigilant and be prepared to take appropriate action to maintain separation from the reported traffic. West, as the traffic is expected to be located on the right side of the aircraft, which corresponds to the east direction. 3795. An ATC radar facility issues the following advisory to a pilot flying north in a calm wind. Traffic 90. Clock 2 miles southbound. Where should the pilot look for this traffic? A. South. B. North. C. West. The correct answer is A. When an ATC radar facility issues the advisory, traffic 9 o'clock, 2 miles southbound, to a pilot flying north in a calm wind, here is the correct 9 o'clock. This refers to the clock face analogy used in aviation to describe the relative position of an aircraft. The pilot should visualize their aircraft as the center of a clock face, with the nose pointing towards 12 o'clock. In this case, 9 o'clock means the traffic is to the left side of the pilot's aircraft, 2 miles. This indicates the approximate distance between the pilot's aircraft and the traffic. The traffic is approximately 2 miles away. Southbound. This describes the direction in which the traffic is moving. In this case, the traffic is moving in a southward direction. Based on this information, the pilot should look to the left side of their aircraft, 9 o'clock position, and scan for traffic within a 2-mile radius in a southward direction. The pilot should remain vigilant and be prepared to take appropriate action to maintain separation from the reported traffic. Therefore, the correct answer is option South. 3796. Basic radar service in the terminal radar program is best described as A. Safety alerts. B. Mandatory radar service provided by the Automated Radar Terminal System ARTS program. C. Wind shear warning at participating airports. The correct answer is A. Basic radar service in the terminal radar program is a service provided by Air Traffic Control (ATC) radar facilities to enhance safety for aircraft operating within the terminal area. The primary purpose of this service is to provide safety alerts to pilots when potential conflicts or hazards are detected by radar. Some of the safety alerts that may be provided by ATC radar facilities include traffic alerts. The radar facility will inform the pilot about the presence of other aircraft in the vicinity that could pose a potential collision risk. This allows the pilot to take appropriate evasive actions to maintain separation. Resolution advisories. In situations where the radar detects an imminent collision risk, the ATC facility may issue resolution advisories to the pilots involved. These advisories provide specific instructions on how to maneuver the aircraft to avoid a collision. Terrain alerts. Radar facilities can also detect the presence of terrain or obstacles in the flight path of an aircraft. In cases where an aircraft is approaching hazardous terrain, the ATC facility will issue terrain alerts to alert the pilot and ensure timely action is taken to avoid the terrain. Obstacle alerts. Similar to terrain alerts, radar facilities can identify significant obstacles in the flight path of an aircraft, such as tall structures or towers. The ATC facility will issue obstacle alerts to inform the pilot of these potential hazards. It's important to note that basic radar service is not a continuous and comprehensive surveillance of all aircraft. Instead, it focuses on providing safety alerts and information on potential conflicts or hazards. Pilots are still responsible for maintaining proper situational awareness, navigation, and separation from other aircraft. Therefore, basic radar service in the Terminal Radar program is primarily concerned with safety alerts and providing pilots with critical information to help them avoid potential conflicts or hazards while operating in the terminal area. 3797. From whom should a departing VFR aircraft request radar traffic information during ground operations? A. Clearance delivery. B. Tower, just before takeoff. C. Ground control, on initial contact. The correct answer is C. When a VFR, visual flight rules, aircraft is departing from an airport, the pilot should request radar traffic information from ground control during ground operations. Ground control is responsible for providing surface movement instructions and traffic information to aircraft operating on the airport surface. By contacting ground control and requesting radar traffic information, the pilot can receive valuable updates on the presence of other aircraft in the vicinity, their positions, and any potential conflicts or hazards. This information helps the pilot maintain situational awareness and make informed decisions during taxi and departure. It's important to note that ground control may not always have radar capabilities, especially at smaller airports or during certain operational hours. In such cases, ground control may coordinate with other ATC facilities or provide alternative means of traffic information, such as advising the pilot to monitor the CTAF, Common Traffic Advisory frequency, or providing visual traffic information. In any case, the key point is that the pilot should make the request for radar traffic information to the appropriate ATC facility, which is typically ground control, before taxi and takeoff. 2226. During departure, when visual separation is employed by air traffic control, ATC, traffic is no longer a factor when A. The other aircraft turns away or is on a diverging course. B. Visual contact with the other aircraft is lost. C. The other aircraft is passed. The correct answer is A. During departure, when air traffic control, ATC, employs visual separation, traffic is no longer a factor when the other aircraft turns away or is on a diverging course. Visual separation is a method used by ATC to separate aircraft based on the ability of pilots to see and maintain visual contact with each other. When visual separation is in effect, the responsibility for maintaining separation between aircraft is primarily delegated to the pilots. ATC provides instructions and clearances to ensure that aircraft maintain a safe distance from each other, but it is the pilot's responsibility to visually observe the other aircraft and take appropriate action if necessary. Once the other aircraft turns away or is on a diverging course, it indicates that there is sufficient separation between the two aircraft, and they are no longer considered a factor for separation purposes. At this point, the pilot can continue the departure without the need to continuously monitor the other aircraft. It's important to note that pilots should always remain vigilant and maintain situational awareness, even when visual separation is employed. If there are any doubts or concerns about the separation between aircraft, pilots should communicate with ATC and follow their instructions to ensure safe operations.